Everybody, if you're just joining us, it's day 3 of the GEC. It's very nice to see everybody. We have got a bit of an experiment for you today. Last night on stage, Jeff Hoffman talked about this entrepreneurial ecosystem as the pit crew. The pit crew. How long does it take to do a pit stop? Has anyone got an answer to that? Does anyone know? Oh, it's less than that, you know. It's more like 2 seconds. Isn't it? Is that right? 3 seconds? Any advance on 3 seconds? About 3. Well, don't worry. We're not going to do a 3-second session and we're not going to do a pit stop. But we are going to sort of do a change the tyres session here. So we're going to conduct a live experiment. I'm going to introduce your host for this session. Alex is going to take part as well. But we're going to bring out, whether or not he knows it, we're going to bring out 2 brilliant guests who face a conundrum in their organisation. We're going to patch them in to an expert, to a guide, to a supporter, and in real time, using some tools, we're going to see if we can work that through, and you're going to witness the whole thing live on stage. So let's welcome to the stage, first of all, to lead us through, a lecturer at Stanford, the managing director of Calais Ventures, and of course, and crucially, on the board of the Global Entrepreneurship Network. Please welcome out, firstly, Rebecca Huang. Come on out, Rebecca. Good to see you.
Hello.
Am I right, Rebecca, to have entrapped Alex Cohen? Is that all right? You wanted him.
Hello, hi, good morning.
Is that all right? Yeah.
Yes, we need an extra chair.
I know, but you did want Alex with us.
Yes,
didn't you?
yes.
Yeah, we're bringing an extra chair. Can we hear it for our fantastic crew here, trying to remain anonymous, bringing out that extra chair? They've been absolute rock stars throughout these 3 days. Thank you. But we're also going to bring out 2 VIP guests with their conundrum, and then I'm going to leave you in Rebecca's hands as we beam in our expert, who I can see there is looking extremely competent and capable. Stand by. Please welcome to the stage the Executive Director of the Competitive Agency of Córdoba in Argentina, Natalia Saylor. Welcome out, Natalia. Welcome, have a seat. And also from Córdoba, the Director of an organization, Agile Policy. Please welcome out Pablo Peralta. Welcome, Pablo. Can I just say, Rebecca, thank you for hosting this session. I know that you're going to welcome Christian to the screen.
Yes,
I'm going to be leaning in to see how it goes. Really good luck. Thank you. Can we have a big round of applause for our lead for this session, Rebecca Huang. Thank you, Rebecca.
Thank you so much. Okay, first of all, I want to give a shout out because we have 2 Cordobeses on stage. Is Córdoba in the room? Yes? Amazing. Today, we're going to do something really fun. So we've been talking about AI, we've been talking about applications, and I don't know how many times I've heard the name agentic startups or agents this year. And so we have a concept of what it means to have these automatic tools and agents who help us with different processes, but we haven't seen that in action. Last year, we've been talking a lot about specific applications, how to prompt ChatGPT, how to be good at using 11 Labs or Gamma, different tools individually. This year, we're all about integrating these tools into your workflow, your daily processes, so that we can now use what we call in this metaphor for this session, the entire kitchen. Last year, we learned how to make amazing espressos. This year, we're going to be combining all of the devices within your kitchen to be able to make an amazing and nutritious breakfast. So for that, we have Christian that I would like to actually show on screen. He's calling in from New York. Christian and I co-chaired last year the MIT AI conference. And at that point, we were one of the first conferences to really focus on practical tools that AI was offering for us to use and apply to our daily life. And in that process, I had these experiences with Christian where I thought he was truly an AI mutant. He applies AI for a lot of his daily activities. In fact, when we're planning the conference and we're trying to set up agendas and have meetings to discuss the focus of the conference, he would send me, and this is early on, this is a year ago, he would send me his agent, his mutant, his clone, to call me instead of the human Christian. So I had to get used to having to now distinguish and discern am I talking to an AI tool? Am I talking to Christian? The AI version of Christian was much more patient with me. I could actually talk for many hours, and it would make summaries of our conversation and then tell Christian what we should talk about. Our meetings with Christian were so efficient. We would have the entire crew getting together, having a meeting about, for example, how to refocus the brand and the messaging of the conference. And during that time, one of those meetings, I remember we had a complete turn around of the focus. We had a new narrative that we wanted to apply. And if you see Christian in action, he already has different agents and AI tools recording all of this, as many of you do. But at the same time, there were already changes being made for the copy of the website. And by the end of the 40-minute meeting, there were assignments for all of us that his tool, his agent, had assigned to us to follow up on. So a meeting that would have resulted in 2 weeks of follow-ups and people chasing after us, in 40 minutes, we had pretty much accomplished 80% of the tasks that were discussed. And the best part is that I got assigned something I didn't like, but then Christian said, look, AI determined that you're the best person for this, so he completely took no accountability for making me do things I didn't want. And this is something that we'll see more and more, this combination of technology playing a role in facilitating and also executing part of the decisions that you make in a meeting. So with Christian now, we have done this session a number of times where in a very short time, in a session of 45 minutes, we're able to show you how he's solving real-life problems with AI. He will show you how he integrates all these tools with problems that we'll get from our crew of volunteers, our guinea pigs. We're going to present pain points that will be very relatable to all of you. And you will see in action how in a few minutes, he's able to create a solution that's already working, that's leveraging AI, and that they will walk away today with a solution to their problems. It's crazy that something that in the past may have taken 6 months to develop, now Christian will show you in just a few minutes how it can be developed real time. So you'll see AI mutant in action. Christian, how are you?
Doing excellent. Thank you so much, Rebecca, and our brave participants that we have on the stage today. Thank you for joining me.
I can see that you actually combed your hair today. Usually he's an MIT engineer. He's wearing a shirt and everything. Thank you for dressing up for us. So I will let you take it away. We have Pablo from Córdoba, who's going to give you a pain point that is very common for many of you, accelerators, incubators, investors. Then we'll have Natalia, who's going to be sharing a slightly different problem that is going to concern any of you leading clusters that right now need to rethink your branding and your positioning in the market. And Alex is going to play a role of pitching a startup. So you'll learn more about his solution that he gave you an introduction of just a few minutes ago. So Christian, it's all you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here. I also promise I am real. This is not my AI quote, in case anybody was wondering. So my objective today, and we're going to go fast, is to demonstrate to you all how every stakeholder in a given entrepreneurial ecosystem, whether you are a government official, a venture capitalist, or a startup founder, can use AI to accelerate the creation of connections between local opportunities and global resources, all of this toward the end of generating real economic growth. So I think that's something that everybody here has in common. And the upshot is impossible things are now possible. And so I hope that you all are inspired to set bold goals and get there 10 times faster with a little AI assistant. Before we dive into the details of this is going to be the one sort of abstract concept I'm going to go over before we get into the details and make it concrete. And that's that AI at sort of a fundamental level is a technology that turns information into insights, into action, and then allows you to cultivate assets. And this all works in a feedback. So I have a lot of fun logos of the different tools that we're going to use, but said even more simply, you can take your data and you can turn it into software that allows you to do things and accelerate progress toward your goals. All right, let's make this really concrete. I would like to, first of all, invite Ms. Halia to give us a little overview of some of the challenges that you and your stakeholders are facing, and then we're actually going to use AI to help you solve them.
Se escucha bien. ¿Se escucha? Allá sí, pero nosotros no tanto.
Perfect. All right. So Natalia, can you tell us a little bit about some of the challenges that we talked about when we first connected?
Okay, sorry, I didn't hear. Okay. Our challenge today, I'm from the agency, the competitiveness agency of Córdoba, Argentina. We are in the middle part of our country. And the challenge that we're bringing today is how territories compete in a world that is rewriting, that is changing, but not only the world, but Argentina. Argentina, we lived, most of you know that we're living a big transformation. We're going through a country that had high inflation and it was a closed country. And so now we're opening it up. But now today, competitiveness is not only about what is happening in our country, is happening in the world. We have a big challenge to connect global partners with economic and entrepreneurial opportunities to make things faster. We have to adapt now more than ever. So our big challenge is to have a strategy, to have a system, a dynamic system where we can map the world, what's going on. We can map also what is going on our territories, in our clusters. Our clusters go through artech, biotech, aerospace, and we have 20 different sectors and clusters going on in our provinces. So we have to map all the capabilities that we have to connect them, to make a better connection to the world in real time. So I think that's the big opportunity that we have with IE, to see like the big picture, to see it like on top, and from there to create this dynamic strategy.
Perfect. Natalia, thank you so much. And we actually had a great conversation going into a little bit more detail. And now I'm going to show you exactly how we started putting this into practice. And we're going to bake a few things live. We're going to put a couple of pieces of software in the oven and then take them out and put them to use. So I'm a huge fan of a tool called Fireflies. As Rebecca mentioned, recording meetings is becoming more common. Natalia and I had an initial discussion where we dug into some of the details. And then fortunately, she and her colleagues actually had a very rich data set that talks about the different capabilities, sort of individual companies, these different clusters that Córdoba has that are highly differentiated. And we wanted to figure out how to make sense of this and build something that could really demonstrate the power of the region and make it something attractive to global partners. And so what I went ahead and did is literally took our conversation. You can see the text here. And then I took all of those files that they sent over, and these are huge amounts of data. If you have a lot of data, especially unstructured data that you're collecting in your organizations, this is that first input to AI, right? So I think Alex mentioned this in his talk. A lot of folks are asking AI to tell them something. In order to get something good, you've got to bring something to it first. So that context is really important. And so what we went ahead and did was actually use one of these agents. So I'm going to show you Claude Code, which is an advanced AI agent that can help us make sense of this data. And I'm going to go ahead and put it in full auto mode, which is a little bit dangerous. But I'm going to say, all right, so I had a fantastic conversation with Natalia. Can you please look through this, start to analyze the data, and help us figure out what to do? And I'm using dictation right there. So one of the key ways to get value out of AI is to stop typing. So move from typing to talking. We're going to get a lot more value out of the technology. It's going ahead. It's looking at everything in the data set. So it's actually going to read the transcript of our conversation. It's going to start doing data analysis using Python. It's able to create custom scripts and so on and so forth, going through all the data that's in this folder. This is just running locally on my computer. And this thing will continue running. The longest I've ever had it go is up to an hour. I've heard rumors of it going for multiple hours. So I'm going to show you what sort of happens at the end. Once you go through this and let it run and think about what to do, it comes up with a plan. It executes against it. You can go make coffee, go have your meetings, whatever you need to do. And at the end of this, the agent actually, and I'll show you the actual conversation here, it went ahead and did a full analysis of the data, and it made some recommendations, which were essentially to first create a digital platform that potential global partners could use in a self-serve way to really get a sense of what the opportunities might be in the region based on the data. And then also to help Natalia and team evolve their strategy, start triggering a daily brief with a research agent to curate intelligence from across the internet and deliver actionable insights on a daily basis. It's like, okay, that's great, right? So I produced all this. We're going to look at the initial analysis that I came up with. And this, I didn't write any of this. This was all created by Claude Code. This agent gives us a good analysis of what I found, some competitive advantages, a lot of data. And then it said, let's go to the sales platform specification. Just like a good product manager or product team would, it actually came up with a specification for exactly what it is that we should build in this case. So I'm going to go over now to a tool called Replit. So Replit is an agentic software creation platform. And what I'm going to say to it is, all right, I'm going to give you a specification for a sales platform that I'd like to build, along with the requisite data that you need to plug into it and some context from a conversation that I had with the stakeholder. I'm just going to pipe that in. I'm going to start attaching these files. So I'm going to put the specification and the data requirements in there. I'm also going to go ahead and include some of these bits of data that we provided, and we're going to put this in. So this agent is going to start doing its thing. Just like Claude Code, it's still working, still thinking, right? So that's the thing kind of interesting about these is you can just let them work and move on to something else, and now you're managing like a swarm of these different things. It's going to go ahead and come up with an implementation plan, at which point I can check to see against it, say, yes, this looks good. I want a database implemented. I want, this is sort of the goal of what we're doing, and so on and so forth. And now I'm going to hop back over to the other task, which was to curate that daily intelligence brief based on Natalia and her team's goals and what's going on out in the market, what's new information that she can incorporate back into her strategy. And so one of the other items that I came up with was the specification for a research agent, right? So this is the text, and you can actually see the file over here. So the research agent prompt. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is pop this over into ChatGPT. So ChatGPT, which I'm sure, and you can see this thing is working, I'm sure everybody's familiar with, simply taking that prompt, putting it into ChatGPT, and then triggering what's called a deep research report. So that is one of the new features that's available from ChatGPT. Some of the other providers have similar ones. Basically gave it all these specifications. And this is based on our conversation. So we want competitive intelligence. We want, what are events that Natalia should budget for, right? Where they're likely to be investors and global partners. It asked me a clarifying question. I say, that's great. Let's keep it global, and then triggered it. It goes and does research for about 10 minutes. Sometimes it does it longer, and it produces, at least what's marketed as a PhD level customized research brief, right? So this is like a fantastic memo. It's got a good sense of what makes Córdoba special. It's got footnotes for each one of the references and sources, and it's also pulling the most recent data that it can. Now, this is a lot of text. I like to read text. I like to read memos. Some people prefer slides. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to take that memo and paste it into a tool called Gamma. And I'm going to say, I want you to create a daily brief for executive stakeholders in Córdoba who are helping entrepreneurs in the region attract capital. And I want you to pay very close attention to the actionable insights, especially upcoming events that Natalia and team might want to attend. Right, so it came up with a set of recommendations here. We're going to go ahead and create this so that Natalia can share this with her team. We're going to keep it down to 5 slides. I'm going to hit continue. Why not? And we're going to hit generate. And while those other bits and pieces are cooking, this is going to cook as well. So let's take a look at. Here we go. So it's already starting to take that data and produce an interactive map, do matchmaking functionality, provide individual recommendations. And it's only been working for about 2 minutes. And at the end of this, we have an app that we can actually deploy at a live website. So while this is being produced, you can see it's even doing it in Spanish, which I don't think I asked for, but it's somehow new to do that. It's going to create each one of these slides where it talks about like the individual opportunities that were present in the report. And what's really cool, by the way, with this daily intelligence briefing is you can actually ask ChatGPT to deliver this now on a daily basis. So every weekday morning at 8 a.m., Natalia and team can get pinged with this. It is curated, it is personalized, something a little bit better than a Google alert, right? And it provides information that you can act on instead of having to wait days, weeks, months, whatever the case might have been to get that information. All right, so it's going to go ahead and make that. And I'll go back here. Think about those two outputs. Again, nearly recurring intelligence briefs that you can turn into this charismatic multimedia that's easy for people to rock, along with this digital asset. I'm actually going to skip ahead a little bit. I'm not going to lie, I did pre-bake a couple of these. But you can see, for example, it went ahead and it created this entire slide deck, which includes recommendations for upcoming events. Yeah, so this Viva Technology 2025 in Paris, which is right around the corner in just about a week. So that would be like an invitation for Natalia and team to go, okay, we're going to go ahead and have a presence there. We're going to proactively outreach the folks, and we're going to try to attract those global partners. Right. All right. And then if we look at the actual website that's produced as well, I had a little bit of back and forth here, so this wasn't kind of a one-shot thing, but if we look at the website that demonstrates Córdoba's unique capabilities and assets, here we go. It's actually taking the live data from the different hubs. You can see the invitation to get a personalized investment profile to attract your partners, all the individual clusters. And then there's even a fun little smart matchmaking tool that I came up with where you look at, okay, these investors are looking at things, what are some of the opportunities in the region, and then even some of the contacts that you want to reach out to. Right, so this is now an asset. This is a piece of software that is going to work, regardless of whether you're sleeping or whatever the case is, and make it easy for investors to start connecting. All right. So that is that's kind of the first part of it. Now we're going to take that example of the upcoming Parisian event, right? So that France Tech Council, we're going to put that to work. So if that's the actionable insight that Natalia gets from this question is what to do with it, and I'm going to show you in just a second. Before we do that, though, I would like to invite Pablo to talk a little bit about the context of the challenge that he faces, and then we'll segue this into the next section.
Before we go into Pablo's problem, Christian, I just want to get a sense from the audience. Any of you feel like your role is going to disappear because AI can do this strategy, brand setting, can create a real plan, a roadmap for your cluster through an ongoing systematic process of researching the world and what's happening in the world to be able to now create differentiation for a cluster? Is this exciting or is this scary? Somebody's job is basically being replaced by this platform.
It's like a magic wizard.
Yes.
And instantly.
Yes. The concept of these processes is that you can get sometimes very tedious work that will take a lot of hours in your schedule. Typically, when we give these talks, people will say that out of your week, about 40% of your week is spent on things like this that could be outsourced. They're not the most fun parts of your job where you have to sit down and just go through data in a very tedious manual way. And if you can outsource, let's say, 2 days out of your week by using these agentic platforms and processes, then what would you do with the rest of your week? There's a lot more, right? What would you do, Natalia, if you had 2 days off where this tool is actually doing part of your job?
This is amazing. It's like the whole work of 3 months in 10 minutes to organize that, all that. So I will build over that because that makes you have a clear vision of what you have to do. So it's easier to make a strategy. It's easy to plan, to make things happen. So it's like being ready for the future in some way.
Yes, so, and this tool, when you create the system, now it updates on a regular basis. So you don't have to go through new meetings, new agenda setting, new team coordination to be able to get the next version of these documents and copy for the next time. This now is an ongoing process that's pretty much live in your system. It's autonomous, and you can use it over and over. The brilliant thing is that many of the tools that Christian used are what I call off the shelf. So you don't have to create new infrastructure in your organization. You can take and combine and integrate tools that are readily available. But the powerful nature of that integration you can see now in action. In a few minutes you can create a lot of automation in your process. What we're seeing in the field is that when these tools are applied, oftentimes you do save half of your cost structure, or if you are spending 100 hours in a certain process, you may now spend between 30 and 50 hours. That's a real saving. It's a tangible result on applying AI to your day-to-day, and you don't have to invest 5-6 months of development to get there. This can happen in 45 minutes. That's really the message that we want to share with you today with these concrete examples. Now let's go on to Pablo's problem. How many of you are in accelerators, incubators, any type of government application process where you have to go through a lot of submissions? Anybody raise your hand? All right. So you're going to really understand what Pablo has to go through. So share with us what is the problem that you would like to present to Christian.
Hi everyone. First of all, thank you, Rebecca, for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here with you and the rest of the participants of this panel and with Christian. I am very glad to be here in GEC. I think that is the most important event around the world. But regarding to the to the session, I work closely with business incubators, accelerators, venture capitalists. And one of the challenges we face is the startup scouting process. I mean, the time that we spend in the process of scouting. And over the last few years, I've been talking with some colleagues to figure out how much time they spend in the process of scouting. And let me tell you, there are big numbers. For example, some venture capitalists from Latin America reviews 100 startups in 1 month, and they hold 30, 45 minutes meetings by team. It's about 50 hours per month. And I think that only just on calls, and you have to add the process data, and for example, a typical angel investors of Latin America reviews almost 20 startups by month, and it's a lot of things to do as well. And as we know, these teams, the teams of incubators, accelerators, venture capitalists are usually small, and we can imagine that it's hard to manage data, investor decks, meetings, and I think that this is a great challenge. I'm forgetting the government. For example, Startup Chile, it's a very important program in the region. It's a program of Corfo. Corfo is an innovation agency from Chile, and they received 1,500 startups per year, and it's a big number as well. And I think that the challenge is to have an end-to-end workflow to simplify the process and to save time and to be a more simpler, more faster, and we have recommendations or a report that with the idea to go straight with the promising opportunities that you can see the promising opportunities, and this is the challenge.
Excellent. I think it's a very common challenge, and we're going to show you today one of the ways. We're not going to automate the full end-to-end workflow. Maybe that happens at some point. But at the very least, make it easier to get the information that the prospective investor needs when it comes to making a good match, whether or not they want to allocate capital with the upstart in the local region that serves it. So, all right, how are we going to do this in practice? Let's continue the thread with sort of the narrative that we're going on, which is Natalia and team, they're informed about this upcoming event in Paris. It's going to be a fantastic opportunity to meet those prospective partners, including, let's say, venture capitalists, investors, okay? And so while you all were chatting, went ahead and had Lovable, which is another one of these website creation tools where you can take a lot of context, pop it in, and say, I want this. And it went ahead and it created a landing page, essentially, that could be a part of the outreach strategy that Natalia's team might have going into this event, but Technology 2025, right? So there's even a call to action, meeting. There are many other things that we don't have time to go into, but you can even do a sort of AI-assisted outbound motion around the events, past using tools like Flight. But at the very least, there's a landing page. People who are interested, okay, they can get meetings, let's say, with Natalia and team. And let's imagine then that Natalia meets this fantastic venture capitalist who we're going to say is a GP at Bordeaux venture named Marie-Claire Dubois. And she is quite interested in one of the startups that she encountered through the tool and through conversation with Natalia, which is was founded by one entrepreneur named Alex. So he's going to be the founder of AgroSync Technologies in this football play that we're going to do in a second. But one of the problems is VCs, entrepreneurs, all these different people, everyone's super busy, right? It's very hard to get on the phone, find time to actually connect, but that's where the really rich information is that you want to get to. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to spin up an AI input behind a phone number using a tool called Vappy. Okay, and so what I'm going to do here is I am going to pull up buddy Claude, and I'm going to say, actually, you know what? We're going to skip over that. All right, so this is the tool Vappy. This is how you instantiate one of these phone agents, and we're going to say, hi Alex, got a minute, and I'm going to say, you are an AI assistant for a venture capitalist named Marie-Claire Dubois, and you are going to be interviewing a founder for a prospective investment. His name is Alex. I'm going to give you information about both the VC and the entrepreneur, and I would like you to ask a series of questions, and this should take absolutely no more than 5 minutes. Try to keep it to 3 minutes. You want to get as much salient information as you can that you don't already have about the investment. We're going to pass that back to the venture capitalist. The information is not what's public, so I'm going to give you context. I want you to find other things, ask probing questions, follow-up questions. Only ask one question at a time. You should be curious. You can feel free to ask follow-ups, but be extremely concise with your own responses. Alex should be doing most of the talking here, and again, the call should last no more than 5 minutes. I'm going to give it all that instruction, direction, Alex, okay, and we're going to go to little synthetic data, and we're going to hit publish, and it should have an Argentinian accent. And what I would love you to do, so Alex, let's say that you just got pinged by Natalia and said, hey, there's this great opportunity. I need you to call this number as soon as you can. This is the number on the screen. Alex, if you wouldn't mind calling this and putting it on speakerphone and being one of our participants.
I can't hear you. Sorry?
Alex, could you call the number, right?
Yeah, I should call that number? Okay.
Yeah.
Call that number.
So I'm gonna just so you know, I'm gonna role play, not my company, but
Yeah.
the company that he's talking about here, right?
Yep.
So let me just try it. Sorry, there's a lot of echo, so it's hard to hear.
So what's happening as you see?
I can't see the number.
Oop.
Okay,
Christian is using AI to now has just created this agent that's going to interact with Alex as if that agent were a member of Pablo's team. So now you'll see this AI agent that was just created, as you've seen happen with your own eyes, and Alex is going to test it out. We'll call that number.
Saved 4.2 million liters of water. Can you walk me through exactly how the system made those decisions in real time?
If you can put your speaker next to your microphone, Alex, so that we can hear what the agent says.
I don't think I can answer that question. I couldn't really hear it, sorry. Can it
No
repeat
problem. Of course, your pilot farm saved 4.2 million liters of water. how exactly did AgroSync system make those irrigation decisions in real time? What data was it using, and how often was it adjusting?
We use an AI-powered irrigation optimization using satellite imagery, IoT sensors, predictive weather modeling. The system reduces water usage by 35% while increasing yields by 22%.
Right. Thanks. When you say AI-powered, what's actually happening under the hood? Is it a proprietary model, and is it trained locally or using external data sets?
It's using a combination of external data sets and data that it extracts from the environment.
Got it. Who owns that environmental data, the farmer or AgroSync?
Who owns the data? The farmer.
Understood. How are you monetizing them? Pure SaaS per hectare or hardware plus subscription?
Hardware.
Is the hardware manufactured locally or imported? And how do you handle installation at scale?
We import some of the hardware, and then we build the hardware on the in Argentina.
Thanks. What's your gross margin today, and what's your target at 50 farms?
We hope to scale to 50 farms by Q4 2025.
Understood. But what are your current gross margins? And what do you project once you hit scale?
I think we're going to be at 30% gross margins, and we hope to get revenue of about $1 million a year for the first year.
Thanks. What's stopping John Deere from building these themselves, especially since you work there?
I believe that our particular expertise is different than what John Deere has, and because we have direct connections to the people on the ground.
Are you currently integrated with John Deere's API platform, or is that still on your roadmap?
That's still on our roadmap.
Understood. Can your system adapt to European vineyard conditions, like what TerraVision handles in Spain?
Could you repeat the question?
Sure. Can your system adapt to European vineyard conditions, like the ones TerraVision handles in Spain?
It can handle any conditions that are available based on the environmental conditions that are there.
Got it. Last quick one. What's your biggest technical risk right now?
There's no major technical risks at this time.
Thanks, Alex. I've got what I need for now.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Alex, your startup sounds really interesting. I may want to invest. All right, Christian. So now we had this agent talk to Alex. It was a very human interaction. You just built it. So tell us what you can do with that data.
It's a great question. So we're going to find out if you're ready to invest or not. And we are going to go ahead and take the transcript of the conversation, which you can see was captured right here. And I'm going to take all this. I'm going to pop it into my friend Claude, which is another AI system. I'm going to say, Claude, I'm going to provide you with background on an interested venture capitalist and an entrepreneur, along with the transcript of a live follow-up conversation that was had to get some more information to ultimately be incorporated into a pitch. What I would like you to do as well is, in the style of these gold standard Bessemer memos, construct a memo and more, construct a memo in this style that can ultimately be presented back to the venture capitalist on the opportunity. Right, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'm going to go take that additional profile. And then what we're going to do is, because Rebecca, you mentioned that these Bessemer memos are best in class, right? So we're actually going to use some inspiration by scraping all of those immediately off the internet. You can see here's another agent that's running to download every single one. There we go. Let's go ahead and form all of them. And we're going to use this as inspiration AI that's going to create them. So results. Markdown, fantastic. Oh, there it is. There we go. We got it now. We're going to pop this thing on.
I want you all to appreciate that this is happening in real time. This is not a video. So Christian is creating all of these applications based on this interaction. It's pretty remarkable.
All right, so it's going to go ahead and do that. And while that's cooking, so we have, by the way, the agent that was doing all the analysis went ahead and it created those same recommendations that it had at the beginning. The real-time intelligence dashboard, interactive sales tool, matching. Right, so it's going to go ahead and do this analysis. And we're also, because VCs love slides, we're going to create another slide deck for Rebecca.
So he's joining two problems, two different problems we had.
Yes.
Wow.
And what I'm going to say is do. All right, and then can you create a very succinct script that I can read that's going to take me less than 30 seconds to read off, that I can record a Loom video over the pitch deck and send to the VC. And let's say I'm an associate who is providing this to them. And then there's also going to be a call to action button for them to book a meeting with Alex.
While we wait, think about the following. If Córdoba now, after 45 minutes, has a tool that's going to help them save lots of hours in terms of processing their submissions, they will have a system that makes this entire data collection and strategy development process more automatic, and your cluster doesn't. Who do you think will have a competitive advantage? This is happening across the board in every industry sector. If your competitor in 45 minutes is able to create cost reductions of 40–50%, and you don't do it, that is a real problem. And it doesn't take 6 months, it takes 45 minutes. I want you to go home with that dimension. The velocity at which many of these organizations are able to affect change is mind-boggling right now. Christian?
Excellent, and we're doing it live here. So we're going to go ahead and create another slide deck. We're going to generate this. Once it does that, I'm also going to have it produced. I think we haven't tried to do this. Yep. I'm going to be able to produce a Loom video that I can send over that has the exact script. So it's going to go ahead and do this. And of course, it's in French. So my French is very rusty, so we'll see if I can. But it's going to create a script to go through all 5 of these slides. So. Generating. No problem.
A photo, a picture.
PDF export, of course, is always fun. All right, so here, we're going to pop this in here. All right, I'm giving you the final PDF of the slides. I want you to create just a word-for-word script I can read off super, super fast, and frankly, do it in French. Why not? We're going to do it in French. That I can read off to record the video and fire it off to the investor. I did not do this part, but we're going to. All right, and so while we're doing that, I'm going to go up to here. We're going to use a tool called Loom. It's notes field, so I can actually script. And I'm going to read it over the slides and then include a link to Google Time with Alex. We're all just created on the fly, of course. And then you have a full closed loop system. Yeah. Oops, I cheated the tool that we wanted. So I'm going to go ahead and start recording that. Bonjour, Marc. Je voulais partager cette opportunité exceptionnelle avec vous. AgroSync Technology, une startup agtech Argentine, shares $3.5 million in Series A. Leur plateforme d'irrigation par IA réduit la consommation de eau de 35% tout en augmentant les rendements de 22%, parfaitement aligné avec vos objectifs de durabilité EU 2030. All right. French definitely rusty. So I'm going to skip over these, but you get the point. Basically, you can just move these off on the slides, and then at the very end, je peux organiser un appel de 30 minutes cette semaine. Cliquez sur le lien dessus pour réserver directement dans son calendrier. Merci. Excellent. That was less than a minute. We got the link video, and then what we're going to do is actually edit the link. The button link is going to go to the landing page that we just created on the fly as well, that has a page to connect with our CEO right here, Alex, right? So schedule a meeting with Alex, massive global opportunity, of course, all about it. Wow. We're going to pop this into the button link, book time with Alex, boom. And then I'm just going to send this off to Rebecca as the GEC and see if she wants to invest. There you go. And so that is a full closed loop system going all the way from creating the assets, deriving the strategy, to actually taking action and starting to facilitate those connections in minutes and not months. So just to recap, again, this technology is something that allows you to go from information or data to insight, action, and then create and continuously improve these assets as software using all these different tools. And hopefully we will have accomplished that objective today, which is really to inspire everybody here to set those bold goals and know that you really can get there to 10 or even 100 times faster. Now, of course, this all relies on expertise. I actually don't think jobs are going away. I think there's going to be more for everybody to do than ever before, just because now you've got this army of agents at your disposal. So I highly recommend going and experimenting, building a culture of experimentation at your organizations, and using all this fantastic tech to drive that growth. Locally, I want to offer a huge round of applause to Rebecca, Natalia, Alex, and Pablo. Thank you so much for being guinea pigs today and participating. Thank you.
So, Pablo, what do you think?
Wow, amazing, amazing. Amazing.
Are you going to make phone calls and tell your team that they can take a vacation?
Yeah.
Half of their week off?
Yes, yes. I think that we focus on the things that really add value, like human beings, and I think that it's incredible because, yeah, it's in minutes you have saved a lot of amount of time.
And that's really the point. I want to conclude with that thought. The point of having this automation is not to fire people or get rid of roles within your organization. It's to free up time, make space for you to be able to focus on the contributions, the human contributions that actually add value to thinking more creatively and being able to create human collaborations that will elevate your organizations in better ways. This concept of agents, AI agents that bring back agency to your lives instead of replace aspects and tasks that could atrophy part of your cognitive function. What we want is to have agency through these AI agents. And with that, I thank you for coming to this live demo. Thank you so much, Christian, for doing this. I know it's always risky to have something live, but it went so well. Thank you to our guinea pigs for presenting the problems, and we'll see you around today. Thank you so much.
Perfect. Thank you so much, everybody.